All right, all right, all right. We are here. Good to see you all. You know, I am representing Chicago, Illinois. Much respect to all my people on Facebook. Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and my other Facebook account. Both of my Facebook accounts. Shout out to everybody. And shout out to everybody on X. I'm representing the Shy. We got Brinkston in the building. We got Greensboro. We got San Jose in the building. Richmond, California. We got Fresno in the building. We got Buffalo, New York in the house. We got Naptown, Indianapolis in the house. Repio City, Repio City. We got SC in the house. Come on in, Repio City. Lesotho, 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 Lesotho. Lesotho. What's up with all my people in Africa? We got the Lou in here. Shout out to all my people in the Lou. You know what it is. We got South London in the building. Everybody come on through, come on through. Say you a gangster, but you never pop nothing. You say you a gangster, so you need to stop running. Yeah, come on in. Let's get it going. You ain't no friend of mine. You ain't no kin of mine. Don't make me have to run all up on you with the 9. We do this all the time. Let's get it. Shout out to the guys on the way south. Good to see y'all. I'll be out there driving crazy. Hit me when y'all get to the location. And tell Maxie to calm down. Okay? I know y'all watching. Tell Maxie. So, yeah, y'all need to. Anyway, I'll call y'all. But tell him calm down. Maxie, if you watching, calm down, man. You trizzle, nizzle, Ben. You is really bad. You just got out and you trying to go right back. Y'all ever deal with the hard headed one? Nice person, just just reckless, just constantly getting in trouble. Constantly getting in trouble. How many coming home parties you want to have? You know what I'm saying? Boy, these brothers, I'm telling you. Talking about why I don't be showing up. Uh yeah. So yeah, today I got an interesting conversation. It's kind of like some personal stuff. I don't think I'm gonna be that long because I got to go live again tonight. So this might be a short one, but you never know. My chat be stimulating conversations. We be all over the place over here. Yeah, my chat be asking some questions. Next thing you know, we start out in Jersey and we end up in San Francisco. Over here. Been around the world and ay. I ain't got time to change. I didn't want to push it back another hour when I change clothes. So. But this is a personal one I'm talking about, and if you can relate, you can relate. The fear of you changing. The fear of you changing. That's a real fear. That's a real fear. Run those likes up, share, subscribe. South London in the building. Exhibit. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I was talking about it to some folks and some people. And I was breaking it down to them, what I had been through when I changed. So I figured it'd be an interesting conversation. It's like a lot of weird vibe when you change. When you try to change your life or you change, it's just certain people, they just want you to stay the same. They feel like you making they little group, they feel like you're making their group smaller. Yeah. They feel like you're making their group smaller. They're also afraid, like let's say it's like 15 people, like a family, and you change. They be afraid, some of them be afraid that more people will change and leave them over here. So it's a group over here, you go over there. But they scared that everybody will start coming over there and they don't want to come over there and be how you change. So they're afraid of being alone. Don't y'all leave me and go change like him. We need to stay like this kind of thing. Basically, it's weird. It's a real weird psychological thing. It's not so much afraid of you changing, afraid of more people to change, and that some of them don't want to, but they still want to be a part of the big group. So they don't want you to change. You say money changes people. I mean, you got to change when you get money because the main people that change when you get money is everybody else. Everybody else change when you get money. So they be lying about that one. Everybody else change and you have to change when you get money. Now all of a sudden you owe them something. You ain't owe them nothing when you didn't have nothing. But when you get something, now you owe everybody. They change. They start begging. They start acting funny. They start acting funny right away. You go out and buy a really nice car and they ain't seen it. You pull up a nice car, everybody be acting funny. They all swear you changed. You ain't even said two words yet. You just got out the car. They say you changed. But the ones that be changing is them. They don't treat you the same. They don't treat you the same. That's one of the biggest lies they ever told, Cyrus. Money don't change people. The people you be around change when you get money. Then you have to change because they start first they want to count your pockets. Then you owe everybody. Then you got to hear everybody's problems. Facts. When you get money, everybody around you change. I'm telling you, if I win the lottery, everybody around me change. Facts. Then I have to change. And no matter how much you give them, it ain't enough. You can't even buy a new outfit. Every time, if you got on, something you wore before, you go around the guys. What up, Pharaoh? What up, Pharaoh? You go buy your outfit. You get out the car. I see you. I see you. Bruh, for real? Tell me that ain't changing. You seen me yesterday. Oh, I got on a new outfit. So I see you, Pharaoh. I see you. See, making me all uncomfortable. So that's the biggest lie they ever told, Cyrus. One of the biggest lies. When you get money, you change. When you get money, you got to change because the people around you turn to vampires and werewolves and bloodsuckers. You got to change. You got to get the hell away from them because they be jealous. But they want to say you change. Hey, April, they want to say you change. Yeah, that's the biggest lie ever. You meet a woman, right? Y'all start hanging out. You hit a lick, you get some money. You start getting money. You buy you a nice car. Now, before you get that, when you regular, you got a woman, she got a family. They might live on the other side of town. Her phone ain't ringing. Her phone ain't ringing. Her sister might got stuff. Her sister will never call her, offer her nothing or nothing. Phone don't ring. You get with her. Y'all start coming up. You get some money. You buy a nice car. You buy her a nice car. Tell me her phone don't start ringing. So who changed? As soon as you get her a nice car, soon as she got some jewelry on or something, tell me who changed. Who phone started ringing that wasn't ringing at all? Now your phone ringing. They all with your queen. This problem, that problem. Can you come pick me up and take me here? Before you got her the car, you got the house, you got the money, phone don't never ring. Phone don't never ring. The phone don't ring. I told this story. I met a sister. We started hanging out. She had two sons. I go by her house. I like her. I go by. We chilling every night. Me, her, and her two sons. They was little boys. Only one cousin calling her. Like, one cousin do call her every day. A reggae show was coming. She wanted to go to the show. We went to the show. Once I went out on the town with her and they seen me with her, all them women she knew started coming by our place. They started dropping by. They started inviting her to go to girls' night. Phone ain't rang. None. Until they seen she was with me. As soon as they seen she was with me, they want to have a girl night. Now you tell me who changed. Yeah, Elijah. They change. As soon as anything is better in your situation, everybody change. Everybody. And so now they're like a fake friend, but they really hate you. So they'll do like a friend thing, and then they'll try to make up excuses to say, man, now they think he's doing, and then they start saying just what this person was saying. They start saying, you changed. They start saying you changed. How you know if I changed or not? I ain't seen you until I got some money. What you mean I changed? What was I like before I got some money? You don't even know because you didn't come around. But this is a different change I'm talking about. So we're going to go into it. So me, I grew up. My daddy and mama came up from Alabama. We had one apartment, then we got another apartment. My daddy worked hard. My mom worked hard. We got a house. Grew up in the house. Regular family. There I go right there. You see, I was always on top of my business. You know what I'm saying? See, I was a businessman before I knew I was a businessman. You know what I'm saying? You see the whole swag. As a shorty, I already know. Get on that phone and make that money. And so, I grew up in a family. That's me, my father, my mother, and my sister. Cool. Nice family. Everything good. I get out of high school. I start expanding my mind, go see Dick Gregory, woo, woo, woo. Start getting around different vibes. I go vegetarian. I go vegetarian and I start growing some dreadlocks. So now when I go vegetarian and I start growing some dreadlocks, the vibes start getting funny. Now, mind you, this ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. This just me. This just me. I'm just doing me. I'm the same son, right? I'm still your son. You know, I'm still my mother's son. I'm still my father's son. I'm just doing me. I'm just living my life. I'm growing up. So now I'm eating different. And the vibe get dark, right? Now I'm not telling nobody to do nothing. I'm just eating different. I'm not preaching. Y'all need to. I'm not saying nothing. I just don't eat meat no more. And that was like a whole big problem. Now just think about that. Everybody doing what they want to do. I'm 20 years old. I don't eat meat no more. That became a whole problem. And I'm grown. That became a whole thing. I started growing dreadlocks. That becomes a whole problem. Now I'm doing me, but it's a problem. Now you're my mother, you're my father, but I'm grown. But it's a problem. So you have to ask yourself, why is this a problem? Why is it a problem that I don't eat meat no more? I'm not stopping you from eating it. I'm not even saying nothing to you. So it's a thing where I'm in the kitchen eating and maybe my mother come downstairs and say, oh, I see you eating your rabbit food. Now, I'm not saying anything about her food. And her food is the food that's nutritious. She the one got bones and stuff on the plate. But I ain't changing coming there. Y'all got bones on the plate. I didn't do all that. I just changed. I didn't come in there all belligerent and start pointing out how nasty eggs is and all that. I ain't do all that. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just doing me. But it was a big old problem. It was a real problem. It was a real problem. They wanted me to stay just like they was. They did not, they was afraid of me changing. They did not want me to change. They wanted me to stay like them. Because that would be the only reason. What other reason what I'm doing bother you? What reason is what I'm doing bothering you? Now I can see if I'm a criminal or something, or doing something violent, then you'd be like, no, we want you to stay like this. We don't want you to turn no criminal. But it ain't none of that. This is just a cultural change for a grown man. It was a problem. I had to start disrespecting them. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't sit down and eat without them saying nothing. So I had to come downstairs when they was eating and be like, oh, I see you eating dead pig and aborted chickens. And they're like, don't say that, boy. You make us lose that appetite. All right, then. Shut up when I'm eating. But the point I'm making is the fear was they was afraid of me changing. It was a real fear. It's a real fear that you don't be like them no more. And it's just not your parents, people in the streets too. This is real. I know dudes, gang members and stuff, be around gangs. And when dudes stop hanging around the gang and try to get a job and get married, do something for themselves, they start complaining. Oh, you too good to be around us. This is a fact. You got to ask yourself, why would some adults care what another adult is doing that they ain't doing what you doing? Think about how insecure you got to be that somebody is doing what they want to do and it bothers you because you want them to do the same thing you doing. Because that's all this over. You need to eat like we eat. You need to wear your hair like we wear our hair. You need to do what like we doing. You can't change. You shouldn't change. Why are you changing? These are facts. It's like a big old problem. You're gonna see this in life. You'll see. It's what they call peer pressure. People are gonna pressure you to stay just like them. They don't want you to do nothing different. They want you to stay just like them. That's all it's about. They ain't trying to disrupt you. They want you to stay where you at. They become uncomfortable. They become afraid. What if everybody changed? Then I'll just be the only one eating chicken. I'm telling you, that's what it really is. So then, even after you change after a while and they still got their group, they be happy. Well, you the only one, we all still Merry Christmas. We all still picks cotton. You don't gotta pick no. We don't need you to pick no cotton. We got a group. We still a group. Yeah, they be happy. They still got the group. So they go on with their group and do the same thing. It's like a weird group. No such thing as different races. Did anybody mention race over here? He said we all the human race. People like that, they never go talk to the Ku Klux Klan and stuff. People like RJ, they always try to tell that stuff to me. They don't go tell it to the hate groups. Nobody even mentioned race in the first place. Just you know what I'm saying? People like that like to disrupt the conversation. I don't. But we don't got time for the foolishness. Okay, get yourself together. But that we all the same race. No, we're not. That's an ideology. The reality is we're separated. That's the reality. Now, that's an ideology. There's an ideology that we're all one, but that's not real. Because if we was the same race, we wouldn't have to have civil rights. We wouldn't have had to drink off a separate fountain and all that. So that's not true. That's make believe ideology, make believe. That somebody want to overlook the reality of how we really live. We live in a segregated world, 100% segregated, 100% separated. Not only are we not one race, you're LGBTQ and you heterosexual. It's a whole bunch of divisions. That's a whole nother story. So that's all make believe. That's a make believe ideology you're trying to sell that never caught on. I don't know why you're trying to sell it to me. Why don't you go out in the world and sell that out in the world? Why are people trying to sell that to a small group of people? You understand? Why you try to sell we are one race and they always just only want to sell that to the black people? They don't never sell that to none of the other races. It's so weird. It's like it's always expect us to run behind somebody for unity. And ain't no pressure. Because in America, we not the dominant society. And so if you want to push one race, wouldn't you push that on the dominant society? Why would you come over here and push this on the brown brother? At that point, that's how I know you're a fraud. And that you're a different race than us. And now you feel that person is not black, most likely. So just being over here, they feel, you know what I'm saying? They don't feel like we all the same, or they wouldn't have said that. They just would have gotten a conversation. You know, you got to know psychology. So for that person to say we all the same race means they feel left out. They feel different because we don't even know what race you are. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what color you are. So what you say that for? You just a name in the chat. The name in the chat don't got no color. So just somebody got some type of feel away. That's most likely probably not black. So they feel funny. That's what psychologically mean. What else? What other reason would they said that unless they was a non-black and they say all these black people like, but we're all the same, right? And it's like, what? Did nobody even mention that? Nobody mentioned that. And so when you go to change, you know, people don't want you to change because they be afraid of you changing. It creates a real fear. They be afraid of losing their traditions. They feel uncomfortable. Because they've been doing the same thing and they've been brainwashed by society for so long. That it's always a group think. And the group think is always a small group trying to represent like they represent the whole world, and they don't. They just represent their little small mentality of group thinking. And so when I started changing the way I eat and started growing my dreadlocks, it wasn't like that. The vibe was like, you leaving us. Until I was still around for so many years, then it was like, oh, okay. You know, I used to have to diss my mother and diss my father because it wouldn't just stop. You know what I'm saying? So I used to have to check them. You know what I mean? Because I know y'all be like, well, why are you so hard? Man, I went hard on everybody. I'm not a person go hard on y'all. I go hard on anybody that it doesn't matter. Mommy, daddy, whoever. If you're out of line and you ain't on line, I'm going to tell them the same thing I tell you. I remember one time my mother, she said something about my dreads. But she had went and got like she was driving a yellow Cadillac, Sedan DeVille, and she had went and got her hair kind of yellow. So I said, and everybody don't want yellow hair to match their yellow car. I had to hurt her feelings a little bit, but Mom, leave me alone, mommy, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be my mother. You know what I'm saying? Why is you ragging on me and ain't supporting me? When the reality is, your whole imagery comes from slavery. You not you didn't create who you are. You all had to put stuff on your face and get out the sun and put wigs on y'all head because y'all had to indoctrinate into a European culture. So I remember, she didn't like my locks and stuff, right? So this like 78. So I remember like 81. I had them 3 years. And she on the phone talking to one of her friends at job. And the lady must have said her son growing dreadlocks. Here go my mom. My son been had done. I said, look at mama. She had became an expert. I had flipped her. So now she was proud of it because I did it really early so nobody knew what it was. So once it got about 3 years later, more and more people started growing them. And so now I'm looking at Van. She's like, oh. So now she brag and talk about my son been had those. She started hanging up African stuff. I said, all right, cool. I ain't hold no grudges. You know what I'm saying? I just give her a little straightening. You know what I'm saying? Hey, mommy, stay in mommy's place. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your place. You know what I mean? I don't get spankings no more. Big Pharaoh now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your little son no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make babies, mommy. How you gonna tell me something? I'm already dealing with women a certain type of way. You're a little late, ain't you, mommy? You late. I'm already up in women. I'm already, mommy is like, I'm not, you know what I mean? You finna be grandmama. If it's up to me, I'm trying to make you a granny. So cut with the mommy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Start getting ready to be granny. My lady finna be mommy to our baby. You know what I mean? Cut it out. But I wanted to talk about it because it was a fear of change. They didn't like the change. They was afraid of it. They just didn't like it. When I changed my name, and I got rid of my slave name, and I changed my name to Pharaoh El-Aton. One day I was sitting in the living room over my father's house because I used to go check on him. My father comes sit next to me, and he say, now that you changed your name, when they look in the family tree, they ain't gonna know who you are. So I said it bothered him. Me being Big Pharaoh, I said, Daddy, they gonna know who I am. They gonna know you was the last slave, and I was the first king of the family. That's what I told them. I said, they gonna know who I am. They gonna know you was the last slave. And they gonna say, and then Michael changed his name from Michael Stewart and changed his name to Pharaoh El-Aton because he said he didn't want no slave name. That's what I told him. That's what the family tree gonna say. I'm gonna still be in the family tree, but I'm gonna be in the family tree as Pharaoh El-Aton, and you're gonna be the last steward. Okay. Here you go. He gonna tell mom, Bessie, what we gonna do with this boy? And so then, but then I made it sweet. I made it good for him because I said, but Daddy, you gotta look at it like this. That gonna make you look good because they're gonna say Randolph's son. They're gonna say your son was a G. He like that. I said they're gonna say Randolph's son didn't want no slave name. He changed his name. That make you look good. That means you must have did something right. He said, you right? I know I'm right, Daddy. What else is going on? Daddy, stop. You know what I'm saying? Want to change the subject, Daddy. Daddy, you're not no match for me, okay? I'm better than you. All right? Change the subject, Daddy. It's going to make you look good, though. That means you must have did something. You must have been like a little militant. You put me in a position to do this. You came, left the South, got a house, worked, and gave me independence. I ain't had to grow up like you. I could grow up independent, free mind. I ain't had to answer the master. I ain't had to sit on the back side of the bus. I ain't had to do Rosa Parks. I ain't had to do nothing. I went to Lutheran schools with European young high school children. And didn't nobody play with me. Wasn't no plan. I didn't go through what you went through. It was a little different when I got up to the school. You know what I'm saying? They had to put some respect on my name up there because we was really with all that. We was with it. I ain't come up like you, Daddy. You came up rough, you know what I'm saying, under oppression. I came up floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. I came up Muhammad Ali, which really is the reason I changed my name. Because I seen Muhammad Ali say he don't want to be Cassius Clay. He Muhammad Ali. Then I seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. These, when I was a child, I'm seeing them. I'm like, yeah. They don't want that name. That stuck with me. When Ali said he didn't want no slave name. I was like, because Ali was like our grade, he was number one. Well, James Brown was number one. Ali was number two. You know what I'm saying? So then that stuck with me. That was a good thing. But the point I'm making is people don't want you to make no changes. They don't want you to create your own identity. They want you to stay in the group. Even if the group ain't elevating. They just want you to stay in the group. And this group mentality is really holding black people down. It's holding us down. Because if you behind because of oppression, and then you stay in the group, you stand oppressed. You stand stuck. You know, one of the things that really woke me up is when I went to the Lutheran high school. Because one day at the Lutheran high school, I had a white friend. And summertime was coming. And I asked him what he doing for the summer. He said, they going to Europe. I said, what y'all going to Europe for? He said, we going to Europe to see my great-grandfather's brother's relatives. You understand how deep that was for a foundational Black American? This man is saying that when his family came from Europe and came over here, they still was in contact with their other family that stayed in Europe. And this family was going to Europe to see the descendants of the two brothers that split. That his great-grandfather came over here and his great-grandfather's brother was still over there, and they was able to go see the descendants of their great-grandfather's brother, their great-granduncle. And I'm thinking, well, we can't do that. We don't know who our people is y'all took us from. Brothers talking about they Native Americans, you don't know who your relatives is, so you might as well be a slave. It ain't one of you brothers over here saying you a Native American know nothing about your family. You always say your tribe, but who was your great-great-great-great-grandfather's brother? What's his name? If he's a Native American, what's his name? I thought so. You don't know. So you in the same boat, whether you say you're a slave or a Native American. You don't know your family. So you a slave. You don't know your family. So you a slave. You're a Native American, but you don't know your family. Who's your great-great-grandfather's brother or sister? You don't know. And so my message to you young people is don't let nobody hold you down. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody hold you down. Don't let nobody hold you down. Don't let nobody make you stay a part of something when you're young and you want to explore your own. You want to reach out in the world. You want to expand. You don't have to follow your mother and your father. You're not here to follow. You're here to lead. You're here to create a new foundation. You understand? You're not here to follow. None of my children have I preached veganism to or nothing I believe to my children. My children ate the way I made them eat when they was young. And when they got old enough to eat however they eat, that's not none of my business. They got to go in life and they got to learn whatever they going to do, they got to learn it. Whoever they going to date, that ain't none of my business. I don't care who they marry or none of that. It's not none of my business. Daddy doing daddy. They doing them. What they eat don't make me go to the restaurant. I don't care. I'm not trying to instill nothing in them. They got to go in life and they got to live their life and figure it out themselves. Period. Let's take a break and then we'll finish, all right? Real talk. So that's my message to you all. And, change. People got a right to change. They got a right to find their own destiny. The only time you should be getting on them is if you feel it's something detrimental, like crime, something like that, something that could physically harm them. Maybe your son's an alcoholic or your daughter's an alcoholic. Yeah, then you want them to change. You don't want them to go down that route. But any other decisions they make about life and what they want to be and how they want to dress and how they want to live, that's not your responsibility to tell them what to do. Your responsibility is just to raise them. That's it. After that, and you raise them till they can get grown and make their own decisions, and you kept them alive, you did a good job. That's it. Your job is over. You did a good job. If they need your help, you help them. But it's not for you to try to beat your ideologies into their head and make them be you. You should have been you. Everybody don't got to be you. Everybody don't got to do the same thing and follow them traditions like that. Those traditions ain't really done nothing for us, to be honest with you. Most of the traditions of foundational Black Americans are based around sickness because everything we do is based around bad food. We don't have any other traditions but eating bad food. Everything we do, bad food is included. Whether it's birthday parties, baby showers, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, any type of picnic, the center is unhealthy food to everything we do. Everything we do is based on bad health and bad food. We don't have any other mindset, and 90% of the stuff we do is not even our stuff. It's something that somebody else made up. We got nothing to do with Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, Labor Day, Valentine's Day. We had nothing to do with none of that. And we ain't making none of money off of it. We ain't making that chocolate money on Valentine's Day. There's a lot of chocolate in Africa, and Africans ain't even making no money off of it. They letting Denmark and them, Danish and them people sell all the chocolate. Ghana giving all their chocolate away and letting them people, Hershey and Nestle, put their name on the chocolate. Hershey and Nestle known for the chocolate, not no Africans. So our traditions ain't even our traditions, and that was what's sad about it. All your traditions is based off of some religion somebody made up or some holiday somebody made up, but none of it is new and innovative. None of it. It's all old and washed up. The religions are old and washed up, not updated to the best benefit. You don't have any modern day prophets that come up with ideologies and religious mentalities that could unify us. You still follow some old, outdated religions. That wasn't nothing back in the day and ain't nothing today. That ain't never built nothing or made nothing happen. Never. Them religions ain't done nothing for us. Not a thing. And we won't come up with no new concepts because everybody wants you to stay a Muslim. Everybody wants you to stay a Christian. Y'all ain't noticed that? Nobody wants you to get outside the box. Why we can't make up a new religious ideology? Why we look up to people that made up new ideologies, but we won't do it so people in the future can look up to us? Think about it. You got Martin Luther, you got St. Thomas Aquinas. Martin Luther did the Lutheran Church. St. Thomas Aquinas did the Catholic. I can go on and on. But now you just following. And you look up to people that was innovative. But how you looking up to innovators, but you're not an innovator? So you're not really looking up to innovators. You're just under the philosophy and ideologies of innovators. You're saying they're great and you're not. You're not great. They're great. Somebody a long time ago is great. Ain't nobody great today. But you constantly talking about God, but God ain't making nobody else great. God only made great people back in the Quran and back in the Bible. God stopped making great people. You understand? Allah, God, and Jehovah, they don't make no great people no more. You ain't noticed that? The last great people they all made was way Jehovah, Allah, right, and God. The last great people they made was way back. Then they stopped making great people. They don't make great people no more. You got to go and follow them ones way back there. Because all y'all guys went to sleep. They're on vacation. They're on vacation until Judgment Day when they send you to hell or to heaven. You know, they taking a break. They sitting on a big throne somewhere going to wait to judge you. You know, I guess if you believe whatever, you don't even want to update that stuff. Because if you sat down and thought about that stuff, you'll see how ridiculous it really is, to be honest with you, is totally ridiculous. But because you want to follow, and you can't break away, you just accept the ridiculousness. And Lord have mercy if your son asks you how a big fat Santa Claus get down the chimney when y'all ain't got no chimney. Daddy, how Santa Claus fat and get down the chimney? And Daddy, our chimney don't even come down. We don't even have a fireplace. So how does it get in, Daddy? Oh, son, hey, look. So I was a little boy. We didn't have Christmas. And we would watch Garfield Goose after school. And Garfield Goose would show like Christmas cartoons when Christmas was come. So they would show this cartoon of these three elves. And they would sing and they'd be like, I'm Hard Rock, I'm Coco, I'm Joe. And these was the ones helped Santa Claus make the toys, right? So we little kids, so we know the whole doctrine. You know, Santa Claus, he got the elves and Rudolph. He put the bright nose on Rudolph, put him at the front so he could pull the sleigh. Then the elves help Santa make the toys. Check out how your philosophies get you caught up. So one day, they had a place called Roseland. If you live in Chicago, you know where Roseland was over there on Michigan. From 119th in Michigan down to 111th. It was all stores. So it's Christmas holiday season. My mother took us in the store, and Santa Claus was in there. You go sit on Santa Claus' lap. Now, we didn't go sit on his lap, but Santa Claus in there. I seen him. There goes Santa Claus. Everybody talked to him. This white dude, Santa Claus, beard stuff. So after we leave the store and we come outside, it was a Santa Claus outside next to the store with a red stand with a bucket where you put money in, and he was ringing the bell. So I just seen Santa Claus inside. I see this Santa Claus. When I look across the street, I see another Santa Claus ringing the bell. I'm a little boy. So I say, Mommy, it's a Santa Claus in the store. It's a Santa Claus in here, and there's a Santa Claus across the street, but it's only one Santa Claus. And my mommy say, she don't know what to say because she been lying, right? She been lying. I don't know what they call it, but she been pushing a lie. So she got to make up something because her son, smart. You know what I'm saying? I got her. You know what I'm saying? I got a call because there's Santa Claus, there's Santa Claus, there's Santa Claus. Mommy, why is it 3 Santa Claus? So my mama say, oh, these his helpers. No, they not, mommy. His helpers is Hard Rock, Coco, and Joe, and they elves. And my mother just didn't say nothing else. And I'm thinking, mama lying. You know what I'm saying? This is a bull, right? That was the day. I said, mama lying. They ain't Santa Claus. Elf, you know, kids are smart, mommies and daddies. Hey, your children not stupid. They ain't. Mama lying, because Santa's helpers is elves, and they name Hard Rock, Coco, and Joe. I watch them every evening on WGN on Garfield Goose. Santa Claus do not got no grown Santa Claus helpers. You understand? She didn't say nothing else. But that day, that was it. I was like, this is all a lie. You know what I'm saying? Mom and daddy buying them toys. Mom and daddy buying them toys. Ain't no Santa Claus. The gig was up on Channel 9. Yeah, the gig was up. I done caught mama in a lie. That is not Santa Claus helpers. They elves. You should have seen her face. She was like, ooh, he too smart. She didn't say nothing. She didn't say a word. She didn't say nothing else. I know she was thinking, he too smart. He too smart. I know she would have told my daddy, Michael found out Santa Claus ain't real today. How? Because they was all outside, 3 or 4 Santa Clauses. You want to know why so many Santa Clauses? And I didn't know what to tell them. I told them they was the helpers. I didn't know what to say. Ain't nothing you can say. They lying, mama. They don't even know how to keep their own lie straight. They should have had the people begging for money dressed like elves. Duh. See, if I had that lie, I would fix it. You would never be able to see 2 Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? I would make sure it'd be illegal if we catch 2 Santa Claus close together. You messing up the lie. You gonna get arrested for blowing the lie. You know what I'm saying? Don't you see we try to lie to these kids? Come here, both of you Santas. What is going on here? Don't you see we're trying to lie to these kids? And you guys are messing it up. Okay? You're both not supposed to be in the same location. My God, you're from the North Pole. You're really not even supposed to be here. You're supposed to be making toys. It's bad enough you're here. That was it. The whole Santa Claus lie was over. And like after that, like one of the Christmas right after that, I was up and I heard somebody in the basement because that's where our toys would be. I heard somebody in the basement. And so I got out my bed and I came down. I'm on the up. We got 3 floors. So we on the top floor. Then we got the middle floor with the kitchen and living room. Then we got the basement. So when I got to the basement door, I opened the door. I'm a little boy though. And I didn't want to go down there because I felt like if I go down there and Santa down there, he's going to scare me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really want to see the real Santa and I might not get nothing. But I'm thinking it's my daddy. But when I opened the door, he got quiet. And I got spooked. And I went back upstairs because I didn't want to see no surprise down there. Because I swear to God, if I'd have went down there and a big old fat white dude was down there, it would have scared me. Because I was smart enough to know he ain't got no key. So how you get in here? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no key, bro. See, you don't really want to bump into dude for real in the house. Think about what happened if you really ran into Santa Claus in your house. You'll be terrified. You'll be terrified. You'd be scared. If you was a kid and you went down there and that man was in your house, nobody never be in your house ever. So imagine somebody in your house at night. You probably would have nightmares because he can come back anytime. The elves could probably get in too. So that wouldn't be, you know what I mean? And sure enough, within a year or two later, people was dressing up like Santa Claus, going to houses where kids was there by themselves and ringing the doorbell, and they was letting them in and they was robbing houses. And my daddy had to tell us, don't let no Santa Claus in here. I buy the toys. I remember that. My daddy had to tell us, don't let no clown in here, don't let no cartoon in here, or don't let no Santa Claus in here, because men start dressing up like cartoons, like Bugs Bunny, and like Santa Claus, stuff like that. And back in those days, in America, like big cities like Chicago, there was a bunch of children at home by themselves. So children would be at home by themselves from 3:30 to 4:30 or 5:30 till their mama get home or their daddy get home. Because we used to get out of school, it didn't coordinate with the working schedule, right? Because people work from 9 to 5. But school is from 9 to 3. So they didn't really coordinate school where it was beneficial for parents because you ain't gonna be home. And sure enough, men was dressing up like Santa Claus and clowns like Bozo, Santa Claus, stuff like that, and tricking the children to open the door and let them in. Real talk. But the moral of this conversation is, listen, people are going to be afraid when you change. If you decide you want to eat better, people are going to be afraid of you eating better. You sure you don't want no chicken? You sure? No, I'm not eating chicken no more. They become afraid. They have a fear of you changing because they feel like if too many people change, it'll mess their life up. Imagine if a bunch of people change and say they don't want to go to no European holidays no more. And now they can't have 4th of July. They can't have Thanksgiving. They'll be mad over that. They'll be mad that y'all stop doing their holidays that they've been doing, these traditions. That the Bible say, don't do the traditions of your forefathers. Clearly. And that's why they don't read the Bible in church. They just sing prayers. That means sing hymns. They don't read the Bible in there because the Bible says you ain't supposed to honor the traditions of your fathers because they be bad traditions. If your father was under the Philistines or under the Greeks or under the Romans, then they're going to have Roman traditions. So now if they get free, but they bring them Roman traditions, how is that a good thing? Moses had the people out in the wilderness and went up to talk to the Most High and come down, and they done made a big calf like they was doing in Kemet. They were still doing the traditions of the place that they didn't want to be at no more. I thought you wanted to leave there, but you there still holding those traditions. And you know, sometimes you just got to break away. Like I said, my father, he didn't like me getting rid of his name. My father passed away. I got 3 sons and a grandson. My father's last name don't make no difference now. Because my sons and my grandson got a new name. They don't have no name from slavery. They got my name. They got a new name. And it was worth upsetting my father for my sons and my grandsons for the future. It was definitely worth it. I had to go and pay to change my name. All my descendants is born like that. They don't got to change nothing. And in history, I'm going to be one of the greatest in the family. Because they're going to be like, well, how did y'all go from Stewart's to El-Aton? And they're going to say, Michael changed his name to Pharaoh. And the reason my name is Pharaoh Ramesses El-Aton, my name is Ramesses El-Aton. But the reason I call myself Pharaoh is because Dick Gregory was my teacher. And Dick Gregory said he named one of his daughters Mrs. He said because Europeans would never call a black person Mr. or Mrs. So he made her first name Mrs. So they had to call her Mrs. Gregory. So I said, yeah, my name is Ramesses, but when I go to their courtroom, I want them to call me King. I want them to call me Pharaoh. So that's not, my friends call me Ramesses. Pharaoh is what the system called me. The judges and presidents and bankers have to call me Pharaoh. All my friends know me as Ramesses.